Hello Herkimer County. This is Michele Hummel, the Executive Director to the Herkimer County Chamber of Commerce. And today we have with us Assemblyman Brian Miller. Hi, Brian.
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And we also have our producer, Dave Warner.
Hello, I'm here.
Hi, Dave.
Somewhere over here.
He's there. We can see him. We can find him, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So I wanted to go over just a couple of quick housekeeping things before we get into this. The Chamber's got a lot going on right now. So I wanted to give a shout out to George from Herkimer, I believe. He had reached out to us an email and asked about the status of the Kmart parking lot. And as it turns out, there are no restaurants currently signed to come in. So we're still in limbo with that. So currently no restaurants are coming in. Right now we have Well Now Urgent Care, and we also know that T-Mobile will be coming in. That's it for now. I also want to remind everybody that this Thursday is our MOVAC Business After Hours. So it's right at MOVAC. Those guys, if you can join us, it is open to the public. $10 for member, $15 for non-member. And it's a great time. They give it their all. Those guys, they cook for us. There's salads. You are not going to leave hungry or thirsty.
Some people were worried that they were just trying to sign you up to be an EMT. Did you see that?
Well, I'm sure those options are available.
I know.
I give those guys a lot of credit, but come out and show some support for them, especially, and you'll get to see a tour of the place if you're interested in some of the ambulances. So come on out, and also next Friday, August 26th is our annual Herkimer County Chamber of Commerce golf tournament. We have got a lot going on this year. It's at Mohawk Valley Golf and Event Center. Oops, I almost slipped.
You almost used the old name there.
So old habits die hard. But we have activities on every single hole. I can guarantee you there is no other tournament in our area where you're going to get so much for only $125. So there's still spots for 2 more teams. Give us a call at 315-866-7820, and we'll get you registered. So
cool.
Now that we've got all of that out of the way, Assemblyman Miller, welcome again.
Thanks for having me.
Yes. So thank you so much. So I want to start, right now you are in the 101st District, and you're soon going to be running for the 122nd District. Can you kind of explain to us what those districts mean?
Okay, the 101st is of course a district that I've represented for the last 6 years, and it goes from New Hartford to Little Falls, all the way straight down to 60 miles north of New York City. The 122nd District, that's the redistricting that map that came through and we all voted on back in May, May this year, is all of northern Madison County from Route 20 north, all of southern Oneida County from Sylvan Beach all the way below Rome, Utica, over to 2 towns in Herkimer County, and I believe 6 or 7 towns in Otsego County. So it'll go from town of Winfield straight down to the city of Oneonta. But that's just for next year, and that could change. There was a court ruling that the judge found that the maps were drawn unconstitutionally, and we'll be running for this district this time. Next year, the maps will get redrawn. Who knows where they're going to be? In the next cycle, we'll run for a different district. It may be the 122nd, maybe the 150th. Who knows?
Who knows? Good.
So,
Lord.
It's going to be a lot of confusion. Right now with the 101st, there's been a lot of confusion, with the constituents. It really wasn't fair to the constituents because it's one straight line. It's 7 counties, 25 towns. But whoever calls the office, we just take care of them, and then we'll get a hold of the representative who represents that constituent and say it's all taken care of. This is what we did.
Yeah.
So it's New York politics and redistricting at its best. But the 101st still exists. And John Selka was the new recipient of the 101st. And it went from the town of Brookfield all the way down to Goshen. And it just shifted things around. So that was probably part of the reason that lawsuit was brought up.
Right.
Mm-hmm. It was better for me. We did a great job representing the 101st. We can do a better job representing the 122nd.
Great.
Or 102nd, right?
No, it'll be
No,
122nd.
122nd.
22nd. Okay, 22nd. Yeah, all right, got
Yeah.
it.
The 102nd will be, I believe, that'll be Joe Angelino. Who
knows?
Who knows?
Well, good for you for
But it's
knowing,
gonna
because it's
change.
confusing. I wish there was a map that they'd give you that actually drew it all out.
was
so you
real,
could keep
that
track.
was accurate,
Something
yeah.
tangible that you could hold and say, hey,
Well-
okay, now I know what you're talking
Well,
about.
this year we had the congressional maps were redrawn twice, and the New York senatorial maps were the same. So, Peter Overacker represented Herkimer County at that time. Now he won't, and there's a primary there. So that's one thing. If there's a primary, and anybody who's listening to this in their listening area, that's going to be next week. Please get out to vote.
Yeah, early voting started yesterday, right?
Started, I think Sunday, didn't it?
All right. Yeah, I saw him setting up yesterday.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It makes a big difference.
Yeah, I know.
You need to do that. So, well, thank
So
you for
there's a lot of
explaining
things
that.
going on.
Yeah, there are. I mean, there's never a dull moment. I can't imagine what it's like to be you for a day in the life that, all that you go to. But
All that he goes to in day in the life. Yesterday, he was over at the Herkimer County Fair.
that's correct. He's doing, I see you're kind of doing the fair tour right now. You're getting around to all the local county fairs.
Well, we have many counties, and the county fairs are just wonderful. The Herkimer County Fair has been there for 64 years?
Yeah.
I believe Ben said 164 years.
I heard that. I heard
Yeah.
164 and 64. I was like, okay, which one is it?
But 64
time.
years is a long time. It's always been a great fair. I grew up in Sequoia, so it was right over the hill for us. Oneida County, Boonville, Oneida County Fair just went by. We had the Otsego County Fair. Friday we'll be down at the Delaware County Fair. So there's many county fairs. We had Troy Wolfner there. He's going to be taking care of all the fairs for us through ag and markets, and that's great. They understand that the county fairs are really where everything happens. The state fair is wonderful, but we want people here at the great Herkimer County Fair. So
Yes.
whoever's got time to get out, go down, enjoy the truck pulls, the tractor
Yeah.
pulls. There are some livestock there, and
Some great rides, too.
some
Yeah.
great rides
Ferris
too.
wheel. Yeah.
Yeah,
Got everything.
not many I'd go on anymore, but for rides. So that said, agriculture is so important to our area here in Herkimer County and really in New York State. And you do a lot to support agriculture. What do you think is the number one initiative right now in terms of trying to assist these local farmers that are struggling?
Well, it could be a number of issues. It all depends on who calls during the day. We've had people call the office with milk picking up issues through the co-ops. Lack of drivers now has driven things a lot of different ways. There's a lot of pesticide bills that have come out, and we debated on the floor this year, and it's going to change the way a lot of the farmers have to do business. There's just a ton of issues. We got solar farms. I'm not going to call them solar farms, solar arrays. That's going to affect some of the farming industry because, a lot of the solar people are looking for a lot of the prime tillable farmland. And it is the farmer's property, and they have a right to do, what they want with it. But we really wish they'd keep as much tillable in production as we can. So there's that. There's I was an apple grower for many years, so there's a lot of farm markets out there. We spend a lot of time at farm markets. A lot of value add. We have the cheese trail down here in Herkimer County.
We sponsor the chamber, yeah.
That's a huge thing. We were at a co-op in Richfield Springs a little while ago. We were just coming back from Cooperstown. But there's a lot of issues, and there's a lot of generational farm transfers that are going on that we're trying to assist people in which direction to go. We can't tell them where to go, but we can tell them where to go for any help that they need.
How is that going? Because I just did a film on a family, the Nellis family farm out there in Fort Plain, and it was interesting to see that the next generation actually did take over the farm, which I thought was unusual, right?
Well, there's a lot of farm family. We were out in Madison County last week at the Tuscarora Farms, and that was a farm where it's going to be a generational takeover, and you can see that happening. But what's happening a lot, with a lot of the agriculture and a lot of the dairy farms here, you got suburbia coming in around them. And that gives that farm a whole new set of issues that they have to deal with. So there's a lot of good things going on in agriculture. It's New York State's #1 industry.
It is. Yeah. It's important. It's so important. And they do need help. And I know that actual farmers have the #1 suicide rate.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a terrible thing. And I know, oftentimes the solar, what did you call them? Not farms.
Solar arrays. They're not a farm.
Arrays, right.
They're-
So those oftentimes really help support the struggling farmer in terms of financial need, so they can rent out their space. And I know some of them, and in a couple of weeks, we'll have somebody actually come on and speak more in depth about this. I know enough to be dangerous, but they are making some of them now that they'll turn at certain points of time during the day so that you can actually still grow under them, which is a really interesting concept. The technology is there, so I don't think it's for all of them, but like I said, we'll have somebody on soon in the near future to go over
So agriculture voltaics, a lot of the solar arrays are, they're. The animals can still graze under them.
Right. We have sheep here grazing under the solar array
farming,
here in Little Falls.
That's going to help out with a lot of the management there. Right. The apiaries, the beekeepers. That's something else that can be done. But there's going to be a lot of. It's going to be a huge learning curve. Right here in the towns of Litchfield and Columbia, we have a proposed solar array. It's going to be 3,000 acres plus.
Wow.
I believe that's the largest in New York State, the largest project,
Well, I think there's one out in Batavia that's a little bit bigger.
Okay.
But right here in the Mohawk Valley, that's going to be the largest.
That's huge.
3,000 acres. Let's just think about the magnitude of that. That's what, 4.2 square miles?
Yeah.
So
it's bigger than the city of Little Falls. Little Falls is 2,446 acres, right?
Okay.
Yeah, something like that.
Fun fact.
Yeah, fun fact.
But the city of
45 or
Rome
46.
is the biggest city, I think, in the entire country, isn't it?
Rome?
Yeah, I think
Really?
acreage-wise.
Oh, that's interesting.
I do remember that from
wow.
somewhere.
Yeah.
I believe that's correct.
So
So,
Fun facts.
Fun facts.
Keep it going.
We should do this, have Fun Fact Friday or something.
You know what? That's a good idea.
Just invented it.
Yeah.
So aside from that, what other topics? I'm curious about what's being discussed now where off-duty police officers are not allowed to carry guns into the New York State Fair.
Yeah, we just heard about that last week. I believe that was a regulation. A lot of law enforcement very concerned about that. We had an incident over in Oneida County, I believe in the village of, or in Yorkville and New York Mills at the Verizon facility a number of years back, where a shooter came in there and started shooting, and an off-duty officer was able to take care of the situation and save a lot of lives. Does it make sense? They're trained. They're peace officers. They should be allowed to.
They have a license.
A license to carry.
Why take it away?
We've the last day of July and the last day of June, first day of July. We had the concealed carry bill come through, and that was a bill which I feel is going to make a lot of law-abiding citizens could make them criminals at that point. Did it make sense? I don't know. We have a bill in there. We have a bill. I think I hear that motorcycle again.
He's a gun guy, I guess. He fired it up.
It's new background music.
But it's a bill that I sponsored legislation along with Senator Griffel for full repeal on it. We had a lot of terrible tragedies happen, and there needs to be some type of help to stop these things. We don't want to see anybody lose their lives anymore. There's mental health issues But we need to work with the DAs, the mental health people, law enforcement, and everybody to come up with bills that are really going to help, not just a knee-jerk reaction. We were down in Albany. We got there at 8:30 on a Thursday morning, hoping that legislation was going to be put there, and we didn't receive that legislation to 3:36 a.m. the next morning, Friday morning. So there was a lot of debate on it, and let's see where this goes. And it's going to go into effect the 1st of September, which is coming up.
What else is going on that we don't know about and we should? What should people in our area specifically be concerned with? Is there any, hot ticket item that has just not been brought up in the media that we should keep on our radar?
We got something on our radar every day. You look at inflation. The price of gas is going down, fuel is going down, but we just heard some lady filled her oil tank up today for the winter, and it was over $2,000.
Wow.
Good Lord!
So inflation's the number one thing we got to be looking at, and we got to do. We proposed some legislation there to take sales tax off all essential goods. That'll help the community, and it still hasn't gained any traction, but that's huge, and that's the biggest thing for us. Public safety is another big thing for us. We still have the bail reform bill that was put into effect. It's basically catch and release. There was some bail reform put into the budget, but it needs to be brought back. Again, talk to the DAs, the sheriffs, the state troopers, all law enforcement, and come up with a plan that's going to work. Because what's happening right now isn't working.
I would think by now there's got to be some data they can pull to support.
Oh, absolutely.
The failure.
We call it catch and release, and that's pretty much what it is.
Yeah.
So actually, we're going to take a really quick break, and we will be back in about a minute.
All right.
So
visit My Little Falls and stay connected with the latest news, information, and events in the city and the area. Our mission is to generate interest in the community and connect residents in a more meaningful way by facilitating deeper conversations about how these stories will shape the future of the Mohawk Valley. Join thousands of weekly visitors who stay up to date with feature stories, interviews, videos, our event calendar, and print publication, the Mohawk Valley Express. It's about timely local news for the community, keeping citizens informed about important issues, telling about the people who live and work here, and giving locally owned businesses the opportunity to reach a very targeted audience of locals and tourists alike. It's a whole new form of media-rich content developed specifically for today's mobile lifestyle and listeners. You can download our iOS app in the iTunes Store, listen to our country music streaming radio station, or sign up for a weekly newsletter. Stop by today at mylittlefalls.com. You'll be glad you did.
thanks, everybody. We're back here with Assemblyman Brian Miller after our short break. And I wanted to ask you a little bit about the puppy mill bill. I know that there's something. Could you elaborate on that?
That was a real important bill that came through the last part of session this year. And the puppy mill bill is to stop, basically to stop over the bad breeding practices and the overbreeding of dogs. That's the first one that comes to my mind. That's there. You know, there's a lot of health issues. There's a lot of issues with the female dogs that they use for breeding, and then they just at the end of the breeding life of the dog, most of the time they just euthanize them.
Oh, that's too bad.
You know, and it's been a bill that came through this year. There was a lot of work done on it by the SPCA's. You know, we were in at the Cooperstown SPCA today, and we had a press conference on that. You know, it's been passed in the Senate and the Assembly, and the governor hasn't passed it yet. He hasn't signed it. And the press conference today was asking her to please sign that and make this into a law here in New York State.
What's the reason why she hasn't signed it? Is there just a process that takes more time,
Well, there's a process. I don't know. It's a political year. Maybe it's a political agenda. Maybe they want to wait, but I don't know, and I'm not saying there is, of course. But we just want to get it to the front of the stack of bills that need to be signed this year, and let's get this one moving so we can stop this terrible breeding practice.
So when something like that happens, how do you enforce it after it is signed?
It's going to be ag and markets. Local law enforcement will have some rules that need to be taken care of, some new laws. So that's how it's going to be done.
Oh, good. All right. So what types of things can people call your office for? So I think that often people wonder, what do I call my assemblyman for? What kinds of things can they help us with?
Well, they call us with anything, and they can call with anything because we're a resource for everyone. We work hand in hand with our congressional representatives out there because a lot of the calls we get are Social Security. Lately, from COVID, it's been unemployment situations. They call from we're having a problem with our co-op trying to get milk moved and picked up. You name it, they call. Please call. We work for you, and we're here to be problem solvers. And one of the hardest things for me, and I know staff too, is to tell somebody we can't help them. There's nothing we can do. But we become resources for helping some of the organizations out there find grant money. We can't write the grants for you, but we can find an avenue that you can find some money if there's one there. But we take care of, we help with everything. And you call my office. We have a small staffed office. There's two of us up here at the New Hartford office. There's Sue and myself. And chances are you'll get me on the phone. And
what's your number?
Number is 315-736-3879.
Okay. See, we'll load that line up.
And we have a staff person in the Albany office, and we do have an office down in Wallkill to take care of the southern end of it because it's a 3-hour and 14-minute drive from New Hartford to Wallkill.
Well, one thing
3 hours and 14 minutes. He's got it down.
Just that number.
I can give you the mile markers on the thruway because the shortest way to get through the district is get on the thruway, take it all the way to New Paltz. You cut cross slots over to Wallkill. That's one good thing about the new district. We put 175,000 miles on a car in 6 years, and that's with 2 years of COVID.
Wow.
We did a real good job there, and I know we're going to do a better job in the 122nd. It's going to be harder for us because if there's a meeting, say down in the town of Montgomery, it's 3 hours and 14 minutes. That's 6.5 hours of driving for a 2-hour meeting. Now we can attend numerous events along the way.
Mm-hmm. And just so our listeners know, your mileage is not reimbursed. So you're taking all this wear and tear on your own personal vehicle, and that's important for everyone to know.
That's what we do. But that's what we're hired to do. I've been here for 6 years. I was a county legislator in Oneida County for 16 before that, and I was town supervisor in the small town of Bridgewater for 8 before that. So we've been able to make a difference, and we want to, as long as we can make a difference, we'll stay.
And what's also really nice, I want everyone to know, is you have been very supportive of the Herkimer County Chamber of Commerce, and we thank you for that. We really appreciate your relationship. And you and your representatives attend a lot of our functions, which is amazing. So people can actually just walk right up to you and have a conversation. When you're at a business after hours or a ribbon cutting or our annual dinner, whatever the case may be, you're very available, which is something to be said.
And that's going to be one of the toughest things for us. We're going to lose most of Herkimer County. We're going to have 2 towns left. But like I tell everyone, we represent the Mohawk Valley region. We have a group that we put together when I first was elected. It's called the Mohawk Valley 9. We started out being very active, and in 2023, we want to become active again because there's a lot of different issues affecting the Mohawk Valley. And that group was comprised of senators and assembly people. It was a nonpartisan group. It was put together by representatives on both sides of the aisle. And, we can do a lot of things. There's a lot of issues that affect Little Falls that are going to affect somebody over in Vernon, New York. And we're all looking for the same people to do business here in the Mohawk Valley. And that's the biggest part of it.
And I've always said to elected officials that may attend a ribbon cutting that's outside of their area, they may not represent that particular area, but I would be willing to bet there are customers that go to that particular store or golf course or whatever the case is. So it's nice that you're doing that, and it's a well-rounded approach.
Well, we do a lot of ribbon cuttings. We attend, from the greater Mohawk Valley Chamber of Commerce, New Hartford Chamber of Commerce, Herkimer County. If there's a ribbon cutting, we're going to be there if we can.
Yes,
So.
right. Schedule's not always perfect, but you'll have that.
We do the best we can, and we switch schedules around. It's a lot of our schedules are first come, first serve. If you get on our schedule, we're going to be there unless something very, very important changes it.
Mm-hmm. And you're very accommodating, so thank you again.
So, yeah, and we're happy to be here. And we're happy to be able to do this. This program with you. These things are good.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, the fact you took time out of your day, and I think you just came in from Cooperstown, you said?
Came in from Cooperstown, and we'll be heading down to Gilbertsville after this with the Otsego County Co-op annual meeting.
Gilbertsville. I've never even heard of Gilbertsville.
I wasn't going to say it, but me too. Neither have I. So, I won't keep you any longer. If it's the case, I don't want to. I know you've got to get places, but I want to thank you so much for joining us, and just any parting thoughts that you have. I want to give you your chance here to tell us what's great about Assemblyman Brian Miller, and what should we look for in the future?
That's always a tough statement. What's great about Assemblyman Brian Miller? It's what's great about all of us here. Okay, it's not about me. It's about everyone. Everybody here in the Mohawk Valley. This is a great place to live. It's a great place to bring your family up. One of the toughest things we hear from everybody is we're going to leave. We don't want you to leave. There's a lot of opportunities here, and that's what makes it great. I'm not great. I'm just part of the whole picture here that makes the Mohawk Valley great.
Well, you got a lot of accolades yesterday at the opening of the fair. So they said a lot of nice things about you. So if you don't want to say them about yourself, I could play that tape yesterday.
No, sometimes it's. We all, it's be humble, make a difference, be a public servant. Mm-hmm. It's hard to do. We're all doing it.
Good words to live by.
And just be proud of who you are. And I will say one thing before we get done. When I walk into the Assembly chambers every day during session, it's one of the greatest honors that can be bestowed on anyone. I'm one of 150 assembly members that represent 19.2 million people. Think about it. I think there's only been 5,800 of us since the New York State Legislature has been there.
Wow.
And think about the people who've served there. So it's an honor to be given that trust to make decisions. And if every assembly member, and I don't call some of us, they call us politicians. I call myself a government official. A politician's not a good word. Not a good word a lot of times. But if we all took that pride in thankfulness for being there, and the people put that trust into us, if we all did that, we could all make New York a better place. So
that's fantastic. What a great parting thought.
Yeah, it's a good one.
I like it. Thank you so much. And folks, if you have any questions that you'd like to follow up with, you can reach us at the chamber at 315-866-7820. And of course, you can also reach the Assemblyman's office. Thank you so much, and have a great day.